And welcome to Tarot Thursday. I am Reverend Mary Hawk, and this is Reverend Bryan, and we will be reading tarot and also just doing general conversation about tarot. So, thank you to everyone who's joining us. If you've got a question for us, please go ahead and post it in the chat and or just post a hello. We're happy just to hear hi. And we do have a question in the chat from Anissa. Can Spirit confirm whether or not their friend has passed? I am not a medium. Neither is Bryan. If Reverend Don were on tonight, but I'm willing to pull a couple of cards and see what I get in this case. Hey, Reverend Mike, good to see you.
Hi, Mike. While Mary's pulling a couple cards, I'm going to give our usual disclaimers since we didn't give them yet. We will not predict the sex of your offspring. We will not give you any legal advice. We will not give you any medical advice. So yeah, we're not lawyers or doctors or mediums. So anything other than that is cool. Right, Mary?
Nor are we going to predict the outcome of any conflict.
Oh, yes. As much as we would love world peace, we're not that. We're not really in that department either.
All right. So this is what I got. Anissa, the first card is Fortune, and this talks about the Wheel of Fortune. And we see the goddess spinning out fate from her own hair. Then we have the Fool, and I've got a glare on the Fool, which indicates a new start. And finally, I have Temperance, which is showing an androgynous being and means pulling together many things, pulling together many pieces to form a greater whole. Based on that, I'm inclined to think that your friend has crossed. Any thoughts, Bryan?
So I pulled the Star, which is about hope. I pulled the Queen of Wands, which for me, for this, is manifestation and action. And I pulled the Six of Pentacles, which is about giving and receiving. So I'm inclined to agree with Mary with a sprinkle of hope that hopefully that is not the case.
And certainly you have our condolences, Anissa.
Absolutely. I have a couple new decks this week while we're waiting for new people.
All right.
As well, of course,
show off your new decks.
Great.
Although, what is your plan for acquiring new decks versus the fact that you live in a relatively small New York City apartment?
So for storage for my decks, I have what most people would call an art cart. It is basically where most people would keep their art supplies. It's basically drawers. It's where I keep all of my decks, and that lives in my bedroom. The art cart to my left, or right on the screen is where I keep all my bullet journaling supplies. So as long as it fits in the cart, I can keep it. That's all I got. But so my rule going into 2024 is unless it is Yule or my birthday, the only decks, how many? With my 3 new decks that I acquired this month, I'm at the magical number 69. So, anyway, I got a subscription box through Hay House, which every quarter, so for 4 times for the year, I will get 3 decks in the mail. And what came this time was the Light Sears Pocket Tin version, which is what I'm using tonight. Then I got the Tree of Life Oracle, which goes through the whole Tree of Life in cards, and I'm going to use that
Hmm.
a personal study during the new year, which I'm looking forward to. And then Yasmin Boland has this Moonology deck, and there's a couple different ones, and this is one of their newest ones. It's Moonology Messages, and it's all so yeah. And then for November, I'm using this. Oh, is it gonna focus? Focus. I'm using this tarot deck for my personal polls in the evening.
Nice.
Yep. So, but I'm reading with the Light Sears tonight because I really like the artwork.
They are beautiful. So, welcome to everyone who's just joined us. And if anyone has a question, go ahead and post it in chat.
And also, since Mike asked how many decks I have, I also keep a digital catalog of all my decks so I don't buy or receive any duplicates.
Um, think I've got around 20. I need to pull them out and count.
Cool.
Um, I'm not as organized about it as Bryan is, and I'm only counting tarot decks. I do own some oracle decks, but I have never been able to work with an oracle deck.
They what I've done with them is use them for the bottoms of spreads. So if you're doing more spread sort of work, sort of what I plan to do with the Tree of Life is to lay it out and then pull on top of.
Mm-hmm.
That's my plan.
That sounds interesting.
Yep.
Also, I'll just draw attention to the fact that I'm mooning everyone tonight with my awesome hat
Oh yes, full
that Bryan
mooning.
suggested to me.
Well, I can't exactly pull off a hat like that nowadays, so someone should.
My sister and I bought them together at
Oh,
Torrid.
she got one too.
Yes,
Nice.
so we have matching moon hats instead of sun hats.
Yeah. You could wear
Thank you, Mike.
you could wear your moon hat to the beach and then moon everyone at the beach.
If I were inclined to take my pasty white self to the beach, I could indeed, but I can get sunburned just as well in my own backyard, so.
True. Oh, can we make a plug for the Tidor ritual?
Oh, yes, that was the first of the plugs we're doing tonight. So go ahead and plug our Trans Day of Remembrance ritual.
Thank you. So it will not be obviously Tarot Thursday, but this will be an addition to the usual seeing of our lovely faces. So on Sunday, November 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, we will be holding a Trans Day of Remembrance ritual here on Pagan World TV or wherever on social media you're watching us. Um, and we will be honoring and remembering the members of the trans and non binary community that we've lost to senseless hate and violence over the past year. So I hope you will lend your energy and attend and hopefully meet and commune with some amazing people who we are either trans and non-binary identified like myself or some people who have trans and non-binary family members who are kick butt allies like Miss Mary.
Thank you. Hello, Renee. Of course, we can do your weekly general reading.
And now that I am officially a co-host, Renee, I hope you take notes and let us know how they go.
Yes, another announcement. Bryan will officially be co hosting with me 3 Thursdays a month, and Reverend Don will do it 1 Thursday a month.
Or you
And
might get all three of us in one shot. We haven't decided yet.
that is a possibility under discussion. Hi, Felicia. We'll be happy to do a reading for you. Let us take care of Renee first.
Love, love, love reading cards for someone named Felicia. But first, Renee. All
Yeah.
right. All righty, Renee. Here we go. The first card I pulled is the Nine of Pentacles. Sorry about that. The text is on the bottom, so now I got to hold these a different way than usual. So the Nine of Colors is about vitality, showing your true colors, letting your peacock feathers bloom and blossom, indulging yourself. So little self-care, little retail therapy this week would not do you bad. And also, second card up is the Ace of Pentacles. So while you're self-caring, also think about manifesting and new abundances, maybe taking some of that money and putting it away after you treat yourself. And the two and the third card is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about exploring new prospects, thinking about what comes next. All right. And in my best Don interpretation here, I just need to pull one more card because, yep, okay. The Star. So there is hope for good things after a rough week last week. This week seems to be taking a brighter turn. So, but make sure to take care of yourself and give yourself some self care. Hi, Fluffy.
Hey, Fluffy. Okay, Renee, my first card for you is the past. And here we can see an older woman looking at her younger reflection in the water. So this tells us that there are some energies from the past, old relationships, old ways of thinking. There's something you need to release. Then we've got the Nine of Cups. Renee, did I pull this for you last week? I thought I did. And this is the Wish card, which, as Reverend Don says, is both the best and the worst card in the deck because it means whatever you wish for, you will get. So be mindful of where you are putting your energies and especially put them out for a better week to come. And then I have the Chariot. So the Chariot means things are in motion. They are moving for you. So expect some new developments. And I hope you find that helpful. And now we'll do a reading for Felicia. Hi, Elio. Yes, we'll get to you in just a moment. I'm glad you find it promising, Renee.
All right.
And Michael asked, how do we store our cards? Well, this particular deck lives in this bag, and my cards live in a large shopping bag. Used to be a small shopping bag, but they outgrew it.
This deck in particular, since it comes in a tin and is made to travel around as it's been all week in my backpack, stays in the tin. Um, some decks have bags, some stay in their boxes. It depends on the deck, really. And then all of the decks, like I said, when they're not being used, live in the art cart or on the coffee table for a bit.
Alrighty.
All right. Would you like me to go while you?
Yes.
All right.
And hello to Catherine.
Hi,
Thank you for
Felicia.
joining.
Nice to meet you. The first card I have is Temperance. Temperance is about balance and patience and synergy, kind of like the seesaw or a more balanced seesaw. The second card that I have for you with this deck is called Death and also Rebirth. So, in order for there to be balance, there needs to be some death and some rebirth, some closed chapter to open a new chapter. And I'm so happy to show off this card as it is one of Mary's favorites. And I haven't showed her this card just yet. The Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is about brains over beauty, valuing your intellect instead of the physical. So I would say this week really balancing those new things you want to start and the old things that you finished, but realizing that really you can only do that using your brain. So I hope that's helpful. You got a samurai sword in this one, Mary.
Yes. The Queen of Swords is my card because it's come up in so many readings representing me. It's almost farcical at this point in my life. So the first card I have for you is the Queen of Lamps, and the deck I'm using, the Infinite Tarot or the Tarot of Hecate, has a fifth suit, the suit of lamps, that deals with spiritual matters. And the Queen of Lamps tells us that in order to achieve your goal, you have to look at a new way of acting within your existing conditions. It's not about forging a new path right now. It's about working with what's there in a new way. Next, we have the Magus or the Magician and other decks. So, this card tells us that you have the ability within yourself to create the reality you want. And then finally, I have the Five of Lamps. And this is one of my favorite cards in this deck because this represents someone preparing to set off on a spiritual journey, a vision quest. So, this is calling you to step back a little bit from the mundane world and let spirit speak with you and see what, however you envision it, the divine, your higher self, your guides. Give them space to speak to you. And I hope you find that helpful.
All right.
Alrighty.
I think Elio's next.
Elio is next, but we must engage in the wonderful art of shuffling.
Yes. So, but we see everyone's comments and we will do our best to get to you. It took the chat a little while to warm up this week, so
It did.
and then it finally did. I think I'm the only one who's not off.
I'm sorry. What
I'm
did you
not off
say?
tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm not either.
Oh, good. I mean, bad, but at least I'm not alone.
I'm out of PTO for the year. Monday through Friday, I'm there.
I'm saving my PTO. All right. Elio. The first card I have for you is the Hermit. Now, the Hermit is about deep introspection and thought, taking time for yourself, thinking about the shadows, but not staying in the shadows, using your lantern to find your way through that journey and out into the light again. Second card I have is the World, which is about finishing a journey, getting to the end point, celebrating your victories. So I feel like this has been a season of doing a lot of shadow work, doing a lot of deep thinking. And I see that, you're almost toward the end of that for this season for you. And the next thing that coming after you've completed all that is Justice. Now, Justice is my favorite card in the tarot. Um, it is about fairness, equity, equal balance. So, after that season of doing your shadow work, you will feel that a sense of balance and wholeness in your life. Um, and you'll be ready for the next challenges that come ahead. So I hope that was helpful.
Alrighty. So the first card I have for you is the Three of Pentacles. And this is talking about being in a good position in the material world through your own efforts, through your own skills, through the work you do. The next card I've got is the Moon, and here you can see some triptychs similar to Stonehenge, and I'll try and get a little closer. There are people in a circle around the fire in the middle, and the Moon is telling you to work with your own personal power, with your own magic in this situation. And then we have the stars, and the stars are telling you that you need to also be speaking with the divine in this particular situation. Whether you see that as deity, your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, however you envision that, you also need to be giving time for spirit to speak with you. So I hope you find that helpful. Hey, Ed, good to see you.
Hello.
And yes, Catherine works tomorrow. And yes, Renee, PTO is paid time off. I don't have any more vacation for the year.
I am saving mine. Like squirrels away nuts for the winter.
That would be for your upcoming nuptials.
And bachelor party and other organizing wedding shenanigans.
Yes. I just used all mine between moving and going to the Parliament of World's Religions. And Fluffy is next.
Yay! Hopefully, this time he will not have to be a little fish in a cup. It is now my favorite coin phrase when the Prince of Cups comes, but the Page of Cups comes up. To be the anchovy. I actually used that phrase when teaching to my older adults at Sage, and they got the same kick out of it that you do.
I was just wondering if you had told anybody, well, it looks like you're being the anchovy right now.
Yep. Well, I had to teach the symbolism of the anchovy. In order to be the anchovy, you first must understand the anchovy. So, hi, Fluffy. So, the first card I have for you is the Eight of Pentacles. Now, obviously, money, material, possessions. The Eight of Pentacles is about getting on your hustle. Doing more, making that coin for yourself, but in the things you love. So not in a 9 to 5 job, but more in that like tarot reading, doing the fairs that you love to do, maybe art, something more fun, but that exchange is in money and is in coin. So keep doing that. The second card that I have, however, is the Emperor. So, unfortunately, while being on the hustle and being on the grind, don't forget to put away some of that money for those taxes because tax season is around the corner. So, when I see the Emperor after money, I think of taxes. That's the cards right now are telling me that you should be thinking about tax season. Not quite sure why. But now I understand why, because behind it is the Seven of Pentacles, which is about patience, investments, and stability. You're in a good place. Keep doing what you're doing. And don't forget, unfortunately, that the man is watching. And not the man like your spirit guides, the man like the tax man. What?
Reading with you is so much fun. Okay,
What do you think
Fluffy.
of when you see money in the Emperor? I'd love to know.
I assume the emperor is going to come take your money. You're absolutely right.
All right.
It's the way you put it.
Thank
So
you.
the first card I have for you is the future. And in this card, we see a man with wings. And it's based on the story of Daedalus and Icarus. But what we don't know is which one this man is. Is he going to fly to safety, taking the safe course? Or is he going to fly too close to the sun, have the wax melt off his wings by flying too close to the sun and nosing into things he doesn't need to be nosing into and plunge into the ocean? Then I've got the King of Swords. And this is about knowledge learned the hard way. The things you've learned by overcoming. They're coming into play in your current situation. So, taken with the future, I would say some caution is in order. And then I've got the King of Wands. So you've got a lot of King energy here. The King of Wands, of course, wands are around our passions. This is about having your plans firmly in place, knowing what you're going to do, following your passions, but having a plan in place. So I'm really getting a lot of the same energy as Bryan did. the cards are telling you to proceed with a reasonable amount of caution, follow your passions, but have a plan in place. So I hope you find that helpful, Fluffy.
Kai's next after shuffling.
Yes, Kai is next, and Kai wants a reading about becoming the position of Dean of Mentors of which school? Thank you. Congratulations, Kai, and thank you for your service.
Woohoo!
Anything I need to work on or keep track of? Herding cats. I mean,
I
you've
really
already shown you can do that,
see
but yeah, you're going to be herding cats. First
big,
thing that pops in my
big
head.
Mancoon cats, not just cats.
Yeah, but Maine Coon cats are basically big cuddle bugs.
And most of the people, well, yeah, exactly, big cuddle bugs with claws. All right. Oh, wow.
Okay, well, you go ahead and go.
Oh, is that because I said, oh, wow? Okay. All right. First card up is the Queen of Wands. Feminine fire. Strong, independent woman. This tells me that you're going to, one, have to establish yourself as a leader and a different leader than the previous Dean of Mentors. You're your own person. You call the shots. Not just because someone else did something one way doesn't mean you'll do it that way. You have your own way of doing things, and people are going to have to learn to respect that. The second card that I got is the King of Wands. So you're a natural leader. You got this. I already know that about you. You're in the military. You already have leadership qualities. So do not change your leadership style. It exists already that way for a reason. I got the third card, which is the Six of Wands, which obviously means you will be victorious in this position as long as you stick to your instinct, stick to your guns, and just because this one is important, I'm going to pull a third card. The King of Cups, however, do not let your emotions take over. Don't let the water burn out the fire. Just because someone comes to you and cries, no means no, yes means yes. There is no waffling. Just do this. You got it. What? I'm from New York. We just go for it.
I know. So the first card I've got for you is the Four of Cups. So this means you took on the job. There might be other things out there you could have done, but this is the one you took on. So be happy with what you got. Then I have the Lovers, which means there's a decision, a choice you're going to have to make. And it's your choice to make about, there's something about how you're going to run which school that's going to come up soon. And you've got to decide how to do it. And I'm emphasizing you because you're Dean a mentor. You're, so it's your decision. And that is the energy I'm getting. So you were offered the position, you took the position. So you do what you feel is right. And then finally, I've got the Empress, which is a strong feminine energy, a very motherly energy, and a very fortunate card in any situation. So you're going to do very well with this. And it definitely needs your energy. So there you go, Kai.
I'm liking this deck in this environment very much.
It is a good visual deck.
Well, no, some decks, you use the same deck every time, but when I change up decks, sometimes I'm like, oh, I have to also talk to the cards before I use them in public to see if they're a good fit for the public.
Alrighty.
Where are we at?
So I'm scrolling down.
Okay. Just keep scrolling.
All right. Catherine asked for a card. And hello to Michelle.
Hi, Catherine. Yeah, I don't know why we don't get stars, but now that me and Mary are officially co-hosting, we will come up with some way for those who want to put the coins in our bucket. We will come up with a coin bucket.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Now that we are a dynamic duo. Plus
Yeah.
dot. Holy trifecta. Ah, there we go. All right. So first card up, Catherine, is strength. Now, this strength is not physical, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. Um, so right now, just trust your gut. You're strong. Anything that you have and could have put into action, you've done. So keep doing that. And I also once again pulled the Eight of Pentacles. So with strength is also your ability to hustle, provide for yourself and your loved ones, regardless of the situation. You are able and capable of finding a way. So don't doubt that there is always a way. And the third card I pulled is the Hangman, which is about sacrifice. And for those of us who do hustle and grind for our material needs, it does come with sacrifice, whether that be your time or your schedule or the amount of time you spend with your loved ones. That sacrifice comes at a cost. So just be mindful of how much you're sacrificing, and everything will see its way through successfully. Your turn, Mary.
All right. So the first card I've got is the future popping up again. So, same advice. Don't fly so close to the sun that the wax melts off your wings and you fall into the sea. Plot a reasonably safe course. The next card I've got is the Eight of Lamps. And as I mentioned, in this deck, lamps is the suit of magic and spirituality. And this represents someone who has been growing in their spiritual abilities and is now beginning to recognize their own personal power. And then finally, I've got the Nine of Cups again, and this is called the Wish card. And it can be your best card in the deck or your worst card in the deck, because what it means is whatever you wish for, you will get it. So be careful where you're putting your energy at. And now, I hope that's helpful, Catherine. And while we're shuffling, I want to make an announcement. Pagan World TV is going to have a Yule auction.
Yay!
Yay! So watch for more announcements. We'll be running it through Give Butter and
Did I just get everyone told for something publicly?
what?
Helping you with the gift butter?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yes, Bryan did agree with me, did turn me on to Give Butter. And we'll be working with our Pagan World sponsors and vendors to get some really cool merchandise up or possibly services to bid on for Yule. Will start on Black Friday. So be watching for further announcements on that.
Alrighty.
All right. And now Felicia asks, do you know if my mom is trying to speak to me? Well, Felicia, I am not a medium,
Nope.
but if you feel like her spirit is trying to communicate with you, then yes, she is. And what I would suggest is that you make some time, some place where you can be quiet and make some sort of offer to her spirit, probably something she enjoyed eating or drinking. Set it out and just talk to her and wait until you feel the answer.
I'm
And the veil is
great.
thinner. What? Did you pull a card on it?
I pulled one card. I like to pull yes or no cards from tarot, and I got a yes.
All right. Bryan got a yes. So just make time to listen, clear your mind, and then trust what you hear.
And I would say the one thing that Rev Don always says is that, especially people directly in contact with you, they're not going to sound all whimsically and cutesy. Your mom's going to talk to you the way she always talked to you. So even if she was the kind of person that smacked you upside your head and thought it was funny, it's going to come out just like that. So it's not always like candles and see what mom does. Sometimes it's, you know, the hair standing up on the back of your neck when you're, looking at soap in the supermarket.
And sometimes it's a sign, uh, like when my brother and I were kids, my father taught us to sing this silly song, the
It's
Battle of New Orleans,
never
which
end.
is horribly politically incorrect, to be honest, now that I think over the lyrics. But every now and then I hear that song and I know it's Daddy saying hi.
Do you know what
So
song?
you might, huh?
Do you know what song makes me think of my dad the most?
What?
So my dad was a big Who fan. So
Good
the
taste.
so the Baba O'Reilly intro with the
All
drum,
right.
the drum intro. Yup.
Or if you smell a scent you associate strongly with her, that could mean she's present.
Old Spice.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Where are
So,
we at in the Ed stalking us for multiple channels for funsies?
and that, yes.
I think he had too many Pepsis today.
Yes. And Kai likes cats. She can do her job.
Good.
And as Lori says, no takey backies. Well, remember that if they don't like something you want to do, Kai. You are welcome, Catherine.
Yes.
And Mike says, I'm thinking about going to a psychic fair this weekend. Is that a good move?
Don't ask the psychics about the psychic fair.
Of course, it's a good move to go to a psychic fair.
My question is, why would you want to go to the psychic fair when you have Mary and I for free? Just saying.
Well, but of course, we only do remote tarot. We're not going to do his tea leaves or read his palms or,
I mean, if he wants to drink some tea and show me the pretty pictures, we can do that.
or other modalities such as channeling I got a Reiki session done at the last psychic fair I was at, and while he was putting Reiki on my Achilles tendon, he also began speaking to me in the language of the Pleiades.
Ew, interesting.
Yes, and a great message about everything will be wonderful for me in the fall.
Hi, Kaz.
Hey, Dragon, how are you? Thank you. I am mooning everyone.
Just me, really, but okay. The other thing that I like about these little pocket decks, Mary, is for us
Mm-hmm.
tiny-handed folk. They're
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. Yes.
There we go.
So, does anyone else have a question for us?
Oh, that card. This is funny for that. That was a lot of readings this week.
It really was. Well, it looks like we are winding down for the evening then.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. Bryan, thank you for being my awesome co host.
Woohoo! Officially co-host.
Yes. And we will be back next week for Tarot Thursday. I am going to go ahead and announce we will not be having Tarot Thursday on Thanksgiving because I am cooking.
I'll be in Massachusetts, where there is no tarot streaming.
Okay.
Unless you
And
want to watch all of my in-laws attempt to hug me. I
which
told you
does,
they get an allotment and they go through them rather quickly.
watching your in-laws pile on you for a hug does sound amusing.
Today at work, my boss tried to hug me, and I was like, "Nope, that way, to the left."
Bryan is not a touchy-feely person, and he is surrounded by many touchy-feely people.
Yes, I am. Maybe someday I'll get over that.
And
Hard to say no.
and hearing his stories of avoiding hugs
Yep, at
is
every cost.
is highly amusing. So
Which
we
you
are going
already
to sign off.
did.
I'm sorry.
You also witnessed it in person at Parliament.
Yes, I have witnessed you on hug avoidance.
Yep.
So
Happy Thursday, everyone.
happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us, and blessed be.